You edit, right?
Oh, I do, for sure. For sure.
Okay, good. Plus, I know that you said that you learn how to beep out words.
Be what?
Beep out words,
Yeah.
the naughty words.
Yes. Oh, yeah, I had to. Yes.
So feel free to let any F-bombs fly, I guess.
Yes, I have
I'm
the
a
bleep
bummer.
saved.
Me either.
What you say?
I'm not a bummer.
You're not an F bomber?
No.
I can't believe it took me. I'm going to start recording in a second. I can't believe it took me
Recording in progress.
17 episodes to drop an F bomb. So I feel I feel kind of good about that.
You're impressed with yourself?
I was like, oh, that's not so bad. It could have been worse.
Her restraint.
Yes.
Yeah.
So much self-editing.
Welcome to Coffee Break Classroom, brewed for higher ed, where teaching meets good vibes. We're just two friends who love our work, our students, and more importantly, a good laugh. Here you can expect a blend of ridiculous classroom stories, a little education research, as well as some practical teaching advice. So grab your coffee, settle in. It sounds like it's going to be a good episode today.
Hi. I'm so excited that you're here.
Yeah, me too.
Oh.
Feels so dark out. Like anybody watching this is gonna think we're recording at like 9 p.m. at night, and it's
Oh.
only 5:30.
Well, if it was 9 p.m., I'd be asleep.
Right?
Yeah.
Last night I was like, what am I still doing up? And I looked and it was 8:47 and I was like, oh, that's what
You're still doing up. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Oh my gosh. So welcome everyone. Tonight we have a very special guest and a very special episode. It's the Christy Woods holiday special. Wait.
It is. It's our holiday special. We got to get in the spirit of it.
We do. We
Okay.
do.
There
Gotta
you go.
Wait.
Oh, shoot. I don't even have any holiday.
Oh, that's okay.
There
We
we-
planned. And
Oh, both of you.
wait, it's been so long since we've used any of our fun Zoom backgrounds. We were
Yeah.
very excited by this.
That's true.
I don't think I can keep this.
I
this-
can't either. I have to turn
Yeah.
this off. I'm sorry.
It's
We
the
tried.
nose
Or-
makes my nose itch watching you.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It was funnier when we were looking at it later. This was still fun to do. I'm glad we did that. But it's just for anybody listening on Spotify or Apple Play, we're trying to up our YouTube views by like getting you all to go look at what just happened.
Ben is trying to keep his street cred on the streets with the young students, with the young kids.
There you
I
go.
don't. I don't have a TikTok. You're the one that's keeping my TikTok prominence live. So
Our TikTok, do you know that we have like the greatest growth in TikTok out of all of the platforms that we're on?
Oh, wow.
Isn't that stupid?
I'm not even on TikTok. So
Well, you will be in a few weeks.
I will be. Oh,
Hell
yeah. Yikes.
Oh my gosh. Welcome everyone to our Christy Woods holiday special and to Coffee Break Classroom.
yeah, we're Brewed for Higher Ed. And today we're going to be talking about kind of different pathways for faculty throughout their careers.
Yes, because it turns out that you don't just have to be in the classroom for 30 years or 50 years, depending on how many years you want to just tough it out until retirement. Are you going to keep your Christmas background up the whole time?
Oh, sorry.
No, you
I
can.
don't know.
It's cool. I like it. It's
It
fascinating.
doesn't feel so dark and depressing.
It does look like I'm recording from the Arctic Circle. So we have a very special guest tonight, and I want to preface this by saying that Christy Woods is someone that I used to call Mama Christy, and still kind of do sometimes for many years, because our lives, like, I felt like I was like on a 5 year, like I was 5 years behind you at all times in my life. We are both parents of twins, and we both have had some life changes that we kind of paralleled each other, right?
Yes.
And so I used to show up in Christy's office. I don't know if you know this, Ben, and just be like, Mama Christy, what am I doing with my life? Like, what am I doing? And she would help me. She'd patch me up and send me back out as not a mess or less of a mess.
Yes, I miss the Mama Christie days.
I know. You're very important now.
Not really.
I won't start calling you that because I feel like it will be weird.
Mama Christie, yeah.
I think you should run division meetings. Like that should be like your name on Zoom or something. I don't know.
My tagline, Mama
Exactly.
Christy.
Mama
We'll get her a coffee mug that says that.
Okay.
for sure.
All right. I'll take that.
We have a short bio for you here.
So yeah, we've got our short bio here. Christy Woods is a longstanding educator and academic leader based in Rochester, New York area, widely known for her work as a math professor and academic dean of STEM and health at Monroe Community College, and for her statewide leadership in SUNY governance. Over the course of her career, she has combined classroom teaching in mathematics with increasing administrative responsibilities, and she has been an outspoken advocate for community college faculty and students across New York State.
On the system level, I really became better friends with Christy as she rose to statewide prominence. I like that. Through the Faculty Council of Community Colleges, which we're going to call FCCC. She was, which I talked about last weekend at our Community College Union conference. Lots of interesting FCCC info.
Mm-hmm.
So Christy was elected president of the FCCC, which represents community college faculty across SUNY, which is, I think we have 33 community colleges within SUNY. And in that capacity, she served as our campus delegate, and then as the FCCC president, and finally as a member of the SUNY Board of Trustees, which is a big deal during her FCCC presidency.
Christy's SUNY and FCCC work focused on statewide academic policy, shared governance, and initiatives to strengthen student success across community colleges, including participation in SUNY initiatives such as SUNY Online, co-requisites, guided pathways, and general education.
All right. So across teaching, college service, and statewide governance, Christy Woods has built a reputation as a connector between campus level concerns and SUNY policy conversations, which I feel like people don't appreciate the importance of that as much as they should, because it's like a big deal. At MCC, she has combined curriculum and program work with committee leadership. At SUNY, she used her FCCC platform to bring faculty perspectives into system decisions. Together, these roles reflect a career devoted to strengthening community college education and elevating faculty voice in governance, which is sorely needed these days. So thank you and welcome, Mama Christy.
Yeah, welcome.
Wow. I feel like I was just introduced for an honor or something like that.
It's just our podcast.
Yeah.
It is an honor to be asked to be on here.
Well, thank you for saying that.
I'm sure our 9 listeners agree, including my mother.
Including your mother.
Ben's sister became our Facebook friend this week.
Oh, that's true.
Oh,
We're
Yeah,
crushing.
her and my nephew watch it. Yeah.
okay, well, that's cool. There's 2 of your 9.
Yeah. Yeah, I am aware. So we'll kind of get started here. We've got some questions to ask that will kind of highlight some of the importance of a lot of the things that I don't think people know about, which is a lot of the stuff that you've done. But why don't you give us like kind of a brief overview of your background and how you kind of first got into teaching, and we'll start there.
So I got into teaching never expecting to teach. If you would have asked me 30 years ago or told me that I would be where I am now, I would have laughed, because that was never an avenue I planned to take. And Amanda will totally understand this. After having my twins and looking at daycare costs, I was working in industry and looking at daycare costs for 2 babies at the same time. It was insane. And any parents out there will understand this too. It almost didn't make sense. So I left my job in industry, and my then husband and I moved to Atlanta and came back. And when my twins were in kindergarten, my daughter was in preschool. My twins are boys, and then I have a daughter. I started to teach as an adjunct because I could just do that because of the kids. And I did that for a year. The next year, at that point, we had 80% positions. So I interviewed and took an 80% position. And then the following year, and I tell this story all the time, within 24 hours, I went from being an 80% to a full-time temp to full-time tenure track, because we had people leave the math department. And I have been teaching and in higher ed ever since. And looking back, I wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah.
So what did you do in industry? I think I know, but I may have forgotten.
I was a quality engineer, so I did statistics. I worked for a lithium battery company. We made pacemaker and defibrillator batteries, and I worked a lot with the production floor. So I was running in and out of the production floor all the time and, inspecting batteries and yes, this is okay. Or I was doing sampling and good things like that.
That's
And
a
running tests.
crazy job.
I was just having a flashback because I was like, I feel like I was just talking with somebody about this today, and it was just you in our earlier meeting because I was talking about industrial engineering and what they do there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, why does this seem familiar? And I was like, right.
It sounds so familiar, but that's what I did. And I was kind of the liaison between the design engineers and the people on the production floor because, what works on paper and in theory does not always work in reality. And I was the one that had to kind of explain that back and forth.
Makes a lot of sense.
I feel like that kind of concept too, what works on paper doesn't work in theory, translates really well to education.
Yeah. Sometimes you think what you're going to do, oh, this is the best thing. Everybody's going to totally understand this. And it kind of flops, but you got to keep try new things.
So you start teaching and then you start to transition into, first, I think you are our campus delegate to FCCC. And so when we met, I didn't even know what FCCC was. So how did you kind of get into that and then grow in that role?
Well, this is kind of an interesting story.
Excellent.
I actually was the alternate delegate first. And the way I got into that was Michael Heel came to me and talked to me about this thing called the FCCC. And would you be interested because they're going to be talking a lot about there will be changes in math and statistics coming. And so I said, sure. And at that time, I was part of the union, the faculty council, and Charlie Clark was the president. And I went to Charlie and I said, what do you think of this? And he said, I think it was a great career move. So I, without having any clue what shared governance was, I went to my first meeting and the rest is sort of history. So that's how I got into that.
So that's awesome. So for our listeners, FCCC helps to create sort of connection between all of the community colleges. And so all of the curricular changes and all sorts of processes that are being developed at the college, at the individual 33 schools, then kind of come up through the FCCC, and there's collaboration. And then when SUNY asks for input on some of the endeavors that you worked on, for example, you lend the community college voice to those discussions, correct?
Right. I'm the voice as president. I was the voice for the delegate. The local campus delegates were the voice for their campus. And I was the voice, the cumulative for all 30 community colleges to SUNY.
What a wild ride.
Yeah.
Wow. I think you kind of answered this a little bit, but because you weren't even thinking about getting into teaching when you started working. And so then you started teaching and you probably weren't even thinking about ending up in some sort of administrative position. But were there other pathways that you were considering as you were continuing your faculty career?
So when I first started as an adjunct and even 80%, I was planning to go back into industry.
Mm.
Had no plans of staying. And then when I got the tenure track position, I loved it. And it was great when I had kids, when my kids were young and all of that. As far as other directions, I think I'm answering another question that's further down, but my mentor when I first started, I don't know, Amanda, if you remember Donna Petrie in the math department.
Not really.
She retired probably 18 years ago. So one of the things she said to me was, try everything. She said, try everything, not all at once, but try everything, not like Ben, and choose what you really enjoy doing and stick with it. So that's why I did the faculty council, the union stuff. I did different things around campus, and the FCCC is what stuck, and I kept with it.
I love that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
What kinds of things happen what things did you see when you were working at the state level? When like crazy things. Can you tell us a good story? Do you have a crazy story for us?
I don't know how crazy it is. The only thing I can really think of, and this actually is probably the gutsy part of me. So it was during COVID. We had our chancellor, Christina Johnson, left.
Yeah.
She went over to Ohio State.
The
And
Ohio State.
The Ohio State, not a Ohio State, the.
Correct.
And so she left, and we had an interim chancellor, and we were going to search for a new chancellor, and everyone on my fellow trustees all decided that this one person should become chancellor. And I said, no, you can't do that. Not without a search, not without. So I went through everything, and my other dog just walked in. Not without everything all the processes you're supposed to go through. And nobody agreed with me except my counterpart on the 4-year schools. So this is where the gutsy part is that she and I, her name is Gwen Kay from Oswego, and I wrote a resolution. We had a vote of no confidence against my fellow trustees.
Wow.
So that to me is probably and I had just been president for a semester. So I have to tell you, I would go to board meetings and people were not happy with me because this became a national thing. And then it was actually in the newspapers all over the place, especially in Albany, that the FCCC and the University Faculty Senate had a vote of no confidence against their fellow trustees, and they're both, trustees and of themselves. And there's my 2 doggies sitting on the bed behind me. When they start wrestling, you'll know.
Okay.
But that's probably, there are other crazy things that happen, but a lot of times the crazy things are just because of the politics of everything. Yeah. The politics, everywhere you go, no matter where, there's going to be politics. And going from SUNY is just like getting larger size politics.
Interesting.
I guess maybe then, what are some of like the day-to-day stuff? Like, what are the kinds of things that you would do in that position?
Day to day. For me, the best part of being in the position that I was in it's going to sound horrible or weird because most people hate this, but the committee work. I loved doing a lot of the committee work because I felt like I was making a difference to everybody, not just, sorry, we're wrestling back here. And you can probably see the 2 of them over there. And so that's one of the reasons why I wanted the dean position, was I really liked making a difference for a lot of students. Mm-hmm. So the day-to-day was usually a lot of committee work, listening to people about, a lot of times people would call me and ask for, suggestions of how do I handle this, how do I handle that on their own campus. And a lot of driving. Yeah. I did a lot of driving back and forth to Albany.
Yeah, I was wondering about that part of it.
So
go ahead.
So fall of 2019 was my first semester as president. And we all know what happened in spring of 2020, which actually it was on my birthday that everything shut down.
Rude.
So happy birthday. But so after that, I have to tell you, because I was driving to Albany once or twice a week. Oh my gosh. There and back is like 7 hours. Mm-hmm. During COVID, I almost didn't know what to do. I had all this time on my hands because now I wasn't sitting in the car all the time.
So the FCCC has like plenaries and things like that, which are like basically conferences where the FCCC with representatives get together. About how many of those do you do a year? And I feel like you've done them with college presidents too, if I'm not making that up in my head.
There's two plenaries a year, one in the fall, one in the spring. And it was actually with the trustees, the community college trustees that we've partnered with so that we could have people go across faculty, and that's one of the things in many colleges, and our college has really done a pretty good job lately over the last few years of faculty being able to talk to the trustees, where some campuses, it's still, arm's length. And so we would try to get together the two groups and just be able to have open conversations. And a lot of times, honestly, the trustees really don't know what the faculty are doing, and the faculty don't know what the trustees are doing. So it was a good way to just exchange ideas. And
Yeah, I think that in general, there's not a great understanding of what shared governance is. Actually, probably some of our 9 listeners don't know what shared governance is. Can you, how would you describe it?
shared governance to me is collaboration. It's being able to for the same goal, and faculty having a voice in that. And nothing in higher ed should be from the top down, especially curriculum decisions, because as I always used to say, the faculty are, you're the curriculum expert. You should know your curriculum and your discipline. You would certainly know better. And actually, I even said this to Ben today. He knows more about engineering than I do. But so yeah, you should be able to share and have, be able to have conversations about different things. And there are things that, yes, administrative, that they have purview over, but anything curricular in particular, faculty should also have a voice in the budget, because you know best about what your department needs. And, in math, we needed a piece of chalk. So.
I do want to say that I feel like I relate to you with in the committee work aspect of stuff. So I very much appreciate just being able, the people who get stuff done, and I like being in those spaces. I feel like I found myself in that a lot. And that's one of the things I've been enjoying about being department chair, is just being able to problem solve things for students, in a different way than I had before.
Exactly. And that's what, like I said, I just feel like being on those committees, and as you mentioned earlier in my bio, Amanda, that I worked on things like SUNY Gen Ed and prior learning assessment and all of those things. And then it was funny, because then when I come back to the college, I'm working on the same thing,
right?
But on the college level. It's kind of strange. And honestly, this is for your 9 listeners. I kind of realized early on I have to watch what I say, because sometimes I know a lot more, and not everyone likes when I put that out there, that, oh yeah, well, I talked to this person. And so I've had to kind of tone it down and not say too much about certain things.
Oh, I appreciate that so much, though, because I was just sometimes it's people are having issues and you're like, okay, but this is an easy conversation. We could spend 5 minutes and actually talk to the person that we need to talk to and get this resolved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, rather than going, the loop that certain people want to go. But
well, now you are back and you're dean of a whole division. So, I mean, it might be worth explaining a little bit about what the role of a dean is, because I know that at least I do have some students that listen to this, some of my former students. Okay. But one of whom once, when we were doing interviews back for your current position, I had mentioned that I was going to go interview my boss's boss, and they were like, "Wait, Debbie's leaving?" They thought my department secretary was leaving. They thought the department secretary I was like, no, the dean. And they thought the department secretary oversaw the department chair.
She does run everything, to be fair.
She does run stuff. Oh no, I'm aware.
Yeah.
But yes. For those folks, what is it that kind of a dean does? Yeah.
Okay. Well, first of all, you're right. The secretary and usually the maintenance people are the eyes and the ears of everything. So they know everything. But for what I do as a dean, master schedule. So the master schedule is the schedule of all of our classes. And so I'm responsible for our division's master schedule, making sure that it's, I'm going to say, optimized. We're not putting too many classes on that won't get enough students in it. We're not putting too few, and then we end up losing students maybe to other colleges because they can't get a full schedule. So that's one of the things that I do. I do a lot of observations of newer faculty or faculty going up for promotions. I'm involved in a lot of the, as I mentioned earlier, the committee work. So I do a lot of committee work, again, looking at master schedule optimization. I worked on, as I said, the PLA, the prior learning assessment. And so for the 9 listeners, what that is if you were to say work in, I'll just use the example of you were a bookkeeper for 20 years and you came to MCC, you might be able to get some credits for what you learned in your 20 years as a bookkeeper. I do quite a few things. I do a lot of interviewing people. I view myself as a liaison, once again, between the faculty that are in my division. There are 7 departments in my division, and the executive leadership team. So I try to get all the facts and represent our faculty when we're requesting anything. If we need something for a course or for a program, including money, I usually go and try to figure out how we can do that. And I oversee a whole bunch of grants, which that's probably my least favorite part of it, because there's...
All right, you're unfrozen now. You froze for a second.
I'm
You started
frozen, I'm
talking
sorry.
about grants and the world stopped.
That's why.
Yeah.
These are grants. No, I said there's so many nuances to grants. Yes, sometimes I have a little shoddy internet here in the country.
You're good. You're good. Hey, I have a question that isn't on our list. So I know that, so you have a long list, a long history of college teaching, and then you stepped away for a couple of years to work on your FCCC leadership, and then now you're a dean. But I know you're also still adjuncting in math, or at least you did last summer. I don't know. So I'm curious, like, how, now that you have this like lens of a dean, has that changed at all what you do in the classroom?
So last summer I did for math, and last semester I did a college orientation course. And I think that changed my view more than anything.
That class is crazy to teach.
You really learn our students when you teach that. Because when I teach mainly statistics, and students, the questions they would ask me were statistics questions, where when I taught the COS course, I was getting more comments about trying to save money so I have reliable transportation, saving money, or trying to figure out a way to, get housing and different things like that, that really, I guess, opened my eyes to, over the years, I think I knew, especially teaching in person, but online you don't get all of that.
Yeah.
And then when I started teaching this course, I've remembered what I had forgotten, what our students are, some of the things they struggle with. But has it, being a dean, changed? I can't say it has, but I often, when I send them an email and my signature line says dean, I don't know if they know what that is, just like you were mentioning earlier. So I don't, because I actually substituted my first semester as the interim dean for a class, and somebody said, "Oh, well, that's the dean," and they were, yeah.
So?
But she's not a department secretary, though, so.
She reports to the department secretary.
All right, I'll get us back on track now. So, what are some of the skill sets, I think, that that you use now as a dean that you used also in FCCC? Like, how do the positions compare, I guess, over time?
As I mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
in politics, it's the same it just in a smaller scale. There's always going, no matter where you work, you could work at McDonald's and I see you every morning getting my Diet Coke. But there's always going to be something. And someone, when I first started doing the SUNY work, said, wow, you're going from the small frying pan to the giant frying pan. And that's really what it was.
Mm-hmm.
That's a definite similarity. As I mentioned earlier, the committee work I'm still doing a lot of that, which is a similarity. The differences are I still do deal with students. I have, usually I'll get the student complaints, where at SUNY, I believe it or not, I did every once in a while because they would see that I was the community college representative to the board.
Wow.
And so they would email me and I'd have to turn that over to somebody. But I also get the good stuff of going to the nursing pinning ceremony and the dental pinning ceremony. So I think I get back more to the students, to be able to see the students. And I like the pinning ceremonies because it's sort of they're, this is the good part of education. They work so hard to get where they are.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll make sure I send you an invite for engineering day.
Is that
I
a
will be
thing?
there.
Yeah, we take over the atrium and they do all their competitions and the robots and their presentations on their structure project. So
Definitely invite me.
yes. So less kind of logistic questions now at this point. We were interested in kind of what I know how much my life has gotten busier in some ways being department chair. And I can only imagine what it is on your end. It's actually funny. I feel like I'm doing less work on the weekend now and more work during the week. And I don't know how that's possible. But we were talking about faculty balance on the episode that we recorded on a Sunday.
Sunday afternoon, very balanced.
Sunday afternoon,
Absolutely.
yeah. But we were wondering, what are some of the things that you do? Because with how busy you probably are, right? Had to keep a balance between your role at our college and life outside of it. And basically, our whole discussion turned into how do we manage our email inbox?
Mm-hmm.
For real.
So how do I manage my email inbox? I will say not well. Because I got my emails on my phone, and I am one of those people that if I see, 30 emails, I get overwhelmed with it. So I'd rather, keep up with that, flag stuff, as I'm watching TV or whatever. But the work-life balance, I've tried to avoid working on the weekends. I will still check email, but I won't do other things. And I think you both know, or at least Ben, I was just in Denver visiting my son over the weekend. And yeah, I did check my email and I responded to a few things, but as long as you let people know you're going to be gone. And I did not take my laptop, which I wish I did because I got stuck in the airport in Chicago for numerous hours. I could have gotten a lot done, more than you can do on your phone. But as far as work-life balance, that's what I would have to say. I just try to avoid doing work on the weekends. And if you ask me what I do on the weekends, besides clean the house and rake all the bazillion leaves we have now, one of the things I've been doing, which is probably really funny, but I've been refinishing furniture.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
so I've been, So my husband laughs because I'll see something free on Marketplace and we gotta go get it. So and he always says, we spend more money in gas than that thing was worth. But, but yeah, I've got some furniture that I, sanded down. Some parts I'll stain, some parts I'll paint. And it's relaxing to me. So, and gardening. So I'm probably way answering this too much, but
No, this is good.
I come from a family where my mom's side were farmers, which is probably where I got my love of plants and flowers.
Mm.
And my dad's side were all woodworkers and cabinet makers, which is probably where I got my love for refinishing furniture and doing stuff like that.
I feel like this, like, it explains why we get along so well. I mean, like, I grew up on a horse farm, like, working, like, doing all of that. And my grandfather was a carpenter, and, like, I did a bunch of stuff growing up with him and my dad, like, has been making a whole bunch of furniture now for the baby. Like, he made them like a cradle type thing. He made the high chair, like, and he's been doing all of that. And, like, I grew up doing that with them. So,
Oh yeah. Well, in my son, the one that he and his wife are expecting a baby, he loves woodwork, and he'll do it all the time. My brother does it as well. And that's, there's got to be something genetic about that. And, like I said, I like doing this kind of stuff, and so that's on my weekends during the summer. I'd be out in my garden, and now I'm working on my free furniture that my husband spends a lot of money and gas going to get.
So our next question has to do with the future. So you are really good.
why did you say it like that?
Because I'm asking Christy to look into her crystal ball.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm looking around. I can't find.
So you're really good about forwarding faculty and staff emails about webinars and conferences. This is like a wild time to be in higher education. Like
Yes.
every
Definitely.
day is a fresh hell. I mean, exciting opportunity. So like, what do you think that are some things that faculty should be thinking about like in the next few years?
Definitely AI, because and we all know that I don't think faculty need to be afraid of it. And I've used this example. If you remember MOOCs, the massive open online courses, that was probably about a decade ago, and we all thought we were going to lose our jobs to these MOOCs. Nobody was going to go to higher ed because we were all going to get it free through these MOOCs. And notice that didn't happen. And AI, I don't think AI is ever going to go away, but I think we just need to really embrace it and learn how to use it to our advantage and to the students' advantage, and be less afraid of, well, they're cheating, and more teaching them how to use it well. So that, and the other thing I think, and this is in New York State, is we need to be, how do I say this, much better with money, because we keep talking about an enrollment cliff. And so, less students were born, but in 2027, 2028, New York State's going to run out of their reserve funds, which means there's going to be even less money to give out. And we need to be very strategic about how we use our money, what we invest in, and just trying to, again, optimize what we have and what we're able to do. And I hate to say it, but it might be a lot of grants. We might be going for grants just to be able to really, blow up programs. Because it's going to be a tough time over the next several years financially. And no one wants us to raise our tuition just to stay in business. I mean, that's putting the burden on the students. So we're going to have to figure out how to be really creative financially.
So can you tell us more about what is the New York State Reserve Fund?
That's sort of like your savings account.
Okay, cool.
So they're going to run out of their savings account 2027, 2028.
That's awesome.
If New York State keeps spending on the path that they have been.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm terrified now.
It is. It's terrifying. And my hope is New York State will figure out a way to turn that around and not be spending into a deficit every year, because all they're doing is using their savings account. And eventually when the savings account's empty, what do? Raise taxes. So.
True story.
Sorry, this turned into
No,
a
it's fine.
podcast.
It's politics, right? That's
I do have some ideas for grant stuff, but I'm still trying. I still feel like I'm trying to get my feet under me with like the way that like the like breath or like the rhythm of the being chair and like what's needed when. So we'll get there. But I have ideas. We'll talk later. But as far as AI, Amanda and I are going to be doing our next episode on that, so people can stay tuned. We have somebody coming in to talk about AI, so that'll be happening. That'll be our new year, new us AI resolution type episode.
That's true. We've been talking about how we can't kick that can down the road too much longer. And what better time than the new year? Let's just start. So I embrace parts of AI in my classroom, and I've been able to use it in some cases to make my own teaching better. I'm going to present on it in January about how I've used it in qualitative or in quantitative research in my own class too. It's pretty interesting.
Well, I use it almost every day when I write an email because I'm a math teacher, not an English professor. So to make sure I sound intelligent, I tell Copilot, make this sound intelligent.
That's so valid though.
Yeah. I use it too. Like, not, I know I'm good. I write my own emails, but I think the recommendation letters, like they're just basically the same thing after a while. And I would even like in the past, like copy and paste old letters and like change the name and then just go through and edit. But like I can just have AI do that now for me and then go through and like fill it in and like add some stuff. But like it gives me the whole template. I don't have to spend like an hour.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, today I was filling out, or I was doing a report, and that's what I did. I said, put all of this stuff in it. This is the question I'm answering. Here's everything. Mm-hmm. And it spit out something that didn't sound like me because it sounded really smart.
Stop. Christy and I drove back and forth across New York together a few times, and some of the jokes that we told on that trip still crack me up, but I'm not going to repeat those. But
no.
Either way, I totally lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. I'm so old. This has been such a long. I was going to say something about.
Were you trying to convince Christy? What?
I said, hold my beer.
Oh, yeah.
That's so old.
Were you going to try and convince her to make bus trips high impact practices? Is that what
I mean, I think bus trips are high impact practices personally. No.
Well, they could very well be.
I know. Wait, what was the thing we were just talking about? My poor brain.
You and I drove back and forth to Albany.
No, before that.
AI writing emails sounding smarter.
Yes. Okay. There it is. Okay. Sorry. Christy used to famously say, I don't read. I'm a math teacher. And then she would qualify it by being like, I mean, like, I read, but like articles. It was so cute.
Well, I can read. I just do not. So I tell people, if you're going to send me an email, make it short and sweet, use bullets. I'll follow you. If it's too long,
TLDR.
I can't. Yeah.
I'm trying. I'm trying. I heard that like a couple weeks ago, and I was like, okay, my emails to Christy need to be shorter. I'm a very wordy person.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Okay.
In emails, no, like I am like written wise, like I try to make sure that my point's coming across, and it ends up with way more detail than is necessary. So I'm trying to like pin that down. When it comes to having conversations, like I'm definitely more of a sit and listen, make an impactful like statement, but then just kind of like take things in. But like when I'm writing an email trying to explain stuff, I usually will end up saying a lot more than I.
Okay. I'm a bullet point person. Yep. I need bullet points.
Heard.
Just know Christy isn't reading most of your stuff.
No, I got that. She's putting it into AI and asking for a list of bullet points.
Yeah, summarize this very long email.
Into 3 bullet points.
Yes.
And then eventually you can teach it. It's for Christy, and then it'll automatically know what to do.
Right.
Okay, that's fair.
It's crazy what AI will do. Move on. This podcast.
Next episode, folks.
Next
Yeah.
episode.
I feel like you already answered this last question, and this was the one that you were referring to earlier, but I thought I'd be very funny at the start of this and say that I peaked way too quickly in my career.
Does that mean that you're like on a decline now? Is that what it
I'm worried
means?
about it. Well, either that or I'm going to be stuck as being department chair for the next 30 years.
That
until
does
I
actually
retire.
happen to many people.
No, I'm aware.
Yeah.
But I was like, my question was help. And no, but I was like, I know that there are like spaces to grow and there's lots of stuff to do. So kind of generally, like as we're ending this, what advice do you have for faculty who are maybe newer in their career or wondering what kind of paths are going to be available to them?
So two things. The first I'll give you was what I already mentioned about trying a whole bunch of different things and finding where your passion is. But the other thing, and I've said this numerous times to student groups, is not that I live my life by him, but Yogi Berra, who was the manager for the New York Yankees. One of his yogiisms was he was telling people how to get to his house. And he said, when you get to the fork in the road, take it. And I was like, what? Well, the fork was a circle and his house was on the other side. So it didn't matter if you went right or left, you got to where you needed to go. And so when I talk to students, I tell them that, and I think it works the same for faculty. When you come to the fork in the road, take it because you will get to where you need to go.
Yeah.
So if an opportunity presents itself, like Michael Hill coming to me and asking me about FCCC, I took it. So try different things. That's the best thing I can say. Find what you have a passion for. And I'm going to tell you probably 95% of the time, it won't be what you expected.
That's the
Because
truth.
I never expected to have been a SUNY trustee, never expected to have stayed. I was with FCCC for 15 years, I believe it was. Never expected that when I started it. Never expected to be at MCC for 25 years. Never expected to be a dean, but just chances that I took on different things. So when I got to that fork in the road, I took it.
Yeah.
I love
That makes sense. I agree with that completely. I never wanted to be department chair. I never saw myself here. And I'm just like, now I'm here. I'm like, this has worked out. Like I'm enjoying this a lot more than I thought I would.
Right. And things aren't as bad as what you think. And even when I applied for this position, I had people saying to me, do you really want to be an administrator? Oh, you're going to the dark side. You know, everybody says that. And, you know, it's not really a dark side. It's just a different side of things. I'm looking at, and Ben knows from a meeting we had today, I'm also looking at the cost of things. You know, it would be great to be able to only have 5 people in every class because you could really give them the one-on-one attention, but the college would close, you know, if we did stuff like that. But it's just a different, I guess, like I said, a different direction we're looking at things. And I think my time at FCCC and in particular as president definitely prepared me, I would say, for it because I learned a lot of that kind of, you know, optimizing time and, you know, being able to relate to different people. And also I was the liaison between faculty and the colleges and SUNY. And that's kind of what I do now between faculty and administrators.
Yeah. It gave you that bigger picture. Like you can see the bigger picture. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
And also you have to be savvy enough to see like where people have kind of dug in and where there's room for compromise. And I think that's sometimes hard to see and not get yourself like personally invested, especially when you do have feelings, right?
And you also have to pick your battles. It's just like with having kids, you know, you pick your battles because some people will dig their heels into something that when you think about it in the overall picture, it's not a big deal. So hand them the win because you know you're going to pocket that and get something else next time. But yeah, pick your battles with everything because if you say no to everything or yes to everything, that's what everybody's going to expect.
So I think we always ask everyone the same question at the end, but I feel like you've answered that question. Like if you were to run into 19-year-old or 22-year-old Christy, what would you tell her about her career or what to do with her life?
I would say don't be afraid to take chances, kind of like what I just said,
Yeah.
because I think there has been, at the beginning, I definitely was not going to take chances. I never saw myself as being anything more than, not that there's anything wrong with it, but I never thought of like department chair, administrator, anything. I thought, I was going to teach and then go home. And I honestly would have to say my first few years, I wasn't nearly as invested as I should have been. So I wasn't a Ben. I didn't peak in my first semester teaching.
That's not a bad thing.
Yeah, that's what I would probably tell myself. Don't, and have more confidence in yourself.
Mm.
Because I don't think I ever did, that I could do much. That I could, not to say that to do more, but just that I didn't have the confidence to try something different. I thought you were going to ask me something like, if you were a fruit, what fruit would you be?
We're not those people. We're
No?
not those
Okay.
people.
You're not going to psychoanalyze my fruit choice?
No. I was in a grad class this summer, and the question was like, there's a square, a squiggly line, a circle, and a rectangle. Which shape are you? And I was like, I'm paying so much for this class right now. I was
doing a.
Oh, God.
You were a circle.
No, I was a squiggly line.
You're a squiggly line. Yeah. It's not a question.
I'm a squiggly line all day.
I had an interview that I did when I was doing for a scholarship when I was an undergrad, and one of the questions they asked, if I was a tree, what kind of tree would I be? So yeah.
What kind of tree were you?
I was a maple tree.
Classic.
Oh,
Yeah.
I would have been a mighty oak,
Oh.
Yeah.
because I'm old too.
That's
I'm the oak tree sitting on top of the hill that could swing on my branches.
That's cool.
I'm trying to figure out if I'm a square or a circle. That's where I'm at.
I think I'm a circle because there's the continuous.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was at.
This is a weird place to end an episode.
I'm not square enough to be a square. There's your TikTok.
Hey, audience, you should send us emails and tell us what shape you are.
Or which shape you think we are.
That's right. That's right.
Can I tell you that my mother's going to be, by when this episode comes out, the next conversation I have with her is going to be some question about like what she asks her students, and like it's something we should have in the episode.
That's
Yep.
awesome. That's awesome.
Well, there you go. That'll give you material to ask the January episode.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Dave, it's coming. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on Coffee Break Classroom. And please do send us emails. We're always curious to hear what you have to say. And
Yeah, we'll do another office hour episode soon.
yeah. All right. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.
Bye.